go back 15 years, all right? 15 years ago, and you wanted to go and get a loan, right? And you are the banker, and I am wanting to start a business, or I have an existing business, either one, it doesn't matter, and I want to expand my business. Whichever one it is, it's the same scenario. I have an existing relationship with you, Mr. Banker, yes? I come in and I say, hey, I need $1 million for my business. I need to expand it, or I want to start a business. I have this existing relationship with you. Let's move. What do I need to do to move forward? I fill out the paperwork, here we go. You decide yes or no based on, mostly, the relationship that and the rapport that I've built with you. Now, if you say yes to me and give me $1 million, here's what happened. The banker had two options. Mr. Bank Owner had two options.
Lend it or don't.
No, he's already approved me.
Oh.
He had two options. He could either sit back and collect, my payments on the terms that we've agreed to, or he could sell the loan.
That's right.
He could sell the loan, which is brilliant, because if an investor comes in and buys that loan, now Mr. Banker has that money back over here and is able to lend it out to another small business owner or entrepreneur.
You don't
Right?
make the full amount, but you'll make still a profit on that.
Well, business is business is business is business. I don't care who you are. Let's keep going here. Let's keep moving forward here. All right, so right now, today, it's very different. Banks have less opportunity to sell those loans to other people because investors lost money. You have to think of it from both ways. I know that you guys have to understand this. If you're a business owner, you're going to understand this. You got into business to get a return on your investment, yes or yes? Yes. So an investor or a bank is a business. Those are businesses as well. And if those people don't make a return on their investment and they're losing money, what's going to happen?
They'll take their money somewhere else.
They're going to take their money somewhere else. That's exactly right. Now, that's on the banking side. And again, very basic, so that we're all on the same page here. Very, very basic. Credit crunch. We've all heard that, right? Yes. Credit crunch. This is a basic overview of what the credit crunch is. So now you have unemployment rising, right? Yes, we all know that. We all know that unemployment is rising. Otherwise, all of you fine people would not be here with me today, right?
Right.
Unemployment is up. It's rising. When you lose your job, tell me this. Do you still have to live?
Yes.
You still have to live. So, what do people do? They have credit cards, right? They max them out because they still have to live. Now, let's look at it from the credit card side of things. A credit card company is a business, and they have investors in that business. So what happens when you max out your credit card, but now you have no way of repayment because you've lost your job? What happens? Those investors don't make their return on their investment, so they pull out. So, what does it say up here?
What recession?
What recession?
What recession? Remember this here? Remember that there? It's this to me. What recession? What recession? I am not in a recession. I choose not to participate in this recession. Do you know why?
Because you know the money's out there and you've got the way to out.
That is exactly right. If the GDP is down, say 10% today, Mr. Business Owner, does that scare you?
It'll scare certain aspects.
I'm just does it scare you? Does it scare you?
Yes.
It doesn't scare me. Do you know why? Because I know that there's 90% of the money still being spent. And there's less competition out there today that I have to deal with. I need to know that I have to tweak my business and educate myself to know what it is that I have to do to make myself successful. So if the GDP is down 10%, I am not afraid. I say, what recession? I choose not to participate in this recession. I know that I have to tweak my business to make it run and work during a down time. Does that make sense? Because I had to unlearn everything that they taught me while I was in college, while I was in school. I had to train myself to unlearn those things. Do you know why? Because they trained me on how to be an employee.
Yeah.
If you only learn to make $50,000 a year, how much are you going to make a year?
$50,000.
$50,000. you're a business owner, you have to know these things. You've got to wear a lot of hats. You have to understand the nature of the game. You have to understand what it takes to be successful in business. That's your business. That's your baby. This is what you created. You had a dream and a goal when you came into business. Do you want to succeed and reach that goal, or do you want to fail? If you don't know things, you will never get things. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes or yes? He doesn't have multiple streams of income. He doesn't have a source in bad times. He doesn't have a source or funding to go back to. He doesn't have a credit card. He doesn't have reserves. He doesn't have any of those things to go back to in order to let him move forward during a bad time or a crisis. It's the same thing with a business owner. If they do not have those things coming in, if they do not prepare themselves, they will never be able to access those things. Why do you think the number one reason for business failure today is lack of what? Funds, lack of capital, lack of money. Insufficient capital. They cannot maintain their businesses because they don't have the money to run their businesses. That's why you're calling me today, because you do not have the means to access any of the funding that you need. You don't have the means to access any of the money that's available to you out there right now today. Does that make sense? Yes? So business success, major factors in a firm's remaining open include an ample supply of capital, the owner's education, large enough to have employees, the owner's reason for starting the firm in the first place, such as freedom for family life or wanting to be one's own boss. The first business that I started, boy was I stupid. I got into business for myself the very first time because I didn't want to work. I thought that if you own your own business, that you could just travel and do whatever it is that you want to do.
What was that?
But
thing?
you're not telling me
And-
what
and-
business it is.
Oh, it was a restaurant and bar.
Oh my God, that's a lot of work.
Oh. So, let me just tell you how very stupid that I was. When I say that the reason for opening up your business has to be for your own reasons, and they have to be good reasons. It can't be because you don't want to work. It can't be because you want to make $1 million. It has to be based on something that drives you, that is your passion. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Passion creates emotion. Emotion creates motion. Motion leads you to action. Does that all make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to concentrate now right here on these first two. The ample supply of capital and the owner's education. When you're in business, you have operating capital, right? So there's two types of capital. Capital equals what?
Money.
Capital equals what?
Money.
Capital equals what?
Money.
Remember, I take in your energy in order to give back out energy. All right, so I need your energy here. Capital equals money. There are two types of money, people. There is your money, and there's other people's money.
Yeah.
Your money tends to be what? Limited. It intrudes on your personal life needs and desires. It risks loss of previous successes. Other people's money. Wider sources. Deeper pockets. Love that. Ability to separate your personal life from your business life. Business credit equals other people's money. Business credit equals time to turn invoices into cash. Business credit equals ability to handle the unexpected. So, what is business credit? Business credit is also known as trade credit, corporate credit, vendor credit. I like to use the word trade credit a lot because people understand that a little bit more.